On Friday, Prime Minister Dean Barrow will present the amendments to the Petro Caribe Act in the House of Representatives. Barrow had the hopes that the amendments would quell the concerns of several sectors, but as we saw last night, it has not influenced the Belize's National Teachers Union, BNTU. The union held a public forum on the proposed amendments. Our news team was there, and we spoke to President Luke Palacio and attorney Audrey Matura-Shepherd.
We again have been saying from the beginning that the Petro Caribe Loans Act is an act that we cannot support from the standpoint of 2005, where we fought to bring into force the Finance and Audit Reform Act. If this law that the government has decided to pass and is now planning to amend will trounce that act, then we cannot support it. You see, because we need to understand that this money is a loan, number one. Number two, the Finance and Audit Reform Act is clear. It says if you are going to borrow more than $10 million, take it to the National Assembly. Let us debate it. Nobody is saying that the Petro Caribe arrangement is something bad for the country. I don't think any entity has said that before. But if you are now going to use this money how you want to violate the Finance and Audit Reform Act, and then you want to make it retrospective to cover an offense that you have committed, we cannot support that.
The amendments of it tabled in the House, you don't accept that as it?
My brothers and sisters in Belize, we all know once there is a majority in the in the legislature, the House of Representatives, that is, any law will be passed, except those that maybe the Constitution requires that you have 2/3 majority to vote in favor for it. Otherwise, a simple majority gives you the right to pass and amend laws in this country.
In terms of the retrospectivity, what would you want the PM to do?
There is no matter of asking what the government needs to do with the retrospectivity. They are not above the law. They themselves amended the Finance and Audit Reform Act in 2010, making it a criminal offense if you violated that act. So why now, in 2015, you're going to pass a legislation, a law, making it retroactive simply because the matter has been taken to court? And that's common knowledge. It is not something that the Belizean people are not aware of, and the Prime Minister himself has admitted when the question was asked by BNTU at the meeting with the Prime Minister in explaining or presenting the amendments, why are you not prepared to amend this retrospectivity? And he said it is for us so that we cannot or we will not be liable to go to court to answer these questions. Just paraphrasing, because I have the exact words he used, as well as Audrey has it in her notes. What was his response?
During the meeting?
During the meeting, in fact, Audrey said it tonight, that he is saying that they had to pass this law because of Julius Espat and the PUP taking them to court.
What we have had is bombardment by the government side, the government radio station, press conferences where the Prime Minister basically says what he wants and nobody can challenge him. A law that was pushed through the National Assembly, no proper debate. Now they want to propose a new amendment, but still no proper debate, no consultation. So we think that with the might, and especially the might of the Petro Caribe money, they have made and paved the way for them to try and justify their law. But sadly, on the other side, there are people who are saying, look, it's not just that clear-cut. There are issues. We have to look at the law for what it is. It's not a political tool. We are looking at governance. And it's hard because in this country, people are so politically polarized. So when you want to discuss that issue based on transparency, accountability, and good governance, people try and distract by bringing in their political biases. Everybody could support the political party they want, But more importantly, everybody should support what the Constitution says and what our laws already say. And when you try and pass a law that circumvents a system that already allows transparency and accountability, then people should quickly stand up. And I think some people miss it, and it's missed because when money starts roll, people forget. It's like when you go to the bank and you get your loan, you forget when payday come and then you can't pay and then they foreclose on you. Then you say, boy, how I remember the joy when I'm going to get the money, but the same intensity of the joy when I get the money, the same intensity of the feel the pain because I can't pay the money.
Palacio told Love News that the BNTU does not plan to protest or demonstrate in front of the National Assembly building on Friday.
We don't intend to go to Belmopan. We have our work to do. We will continue in the process of educating our people. And again, like I've said earlier, it is not necessarily a defeatist attitude, but you will be, the Prime Minister himself said it, and if you read the Reporter newspaper, the President of the Trade Union Congress, Mr. Moora, said it. The Prime Minister told us when we met with him to look at the amendments that if we bring out 5,000 people, he can bring out 15,000 people. That is an intimidation tactic.
Are you intimidated, sir?
No, we are not, but we are above that. We are educated, we are intelligent, and therefore we will have to develop our strategy to educate our Belizean people and for them to understand the dangers involved in what is taking place at this time.
So no protest, no demonstration, nothing on...
For BNTU, we are not.
Sir, I have to ask, I understand that of the 11 or so unions that make up the NTUCB, the BNTU was the only union that mobilized and formulated a solid position on where they stand as it relates to the Petro Caribe Loan Act and its amendments. Why is it, or I'm not sure, I don't think you can speak for the rest of the unions, but how is it that the BNTU was able to mobilize and come to this position, whereas the other unions were not able to do so?
I think you've answered your question. They are the best ones to answer. We are showing what we have done and what we continue to do.
Do you think you accomplished what you set out to do with tonight's forum?
Definitely we did. It is to educate our Belizean people. It is for them to understand our position as it relates to this matter, and again, for them to get some information, whichever way they take it.
Talk to us about the feedback you got tonight in terms of those who agreed with BNTU position and those who did not.
I cannot speak for who doesn't agree with us, and that is not our concern. Our concern is to educate our people. You see, we have to understand that in Belize we have become so polarized. Every little thing we want to put politics in there. That was not the intention of tonight's forum. And I think the last speaker, the president of Belmopan branch, said it right. We were here to educate, we were here to inform, and if you felt a certain way, then come through. The problem they're having and the concerns some of them raised, why did we not involve the government? The government has all the resources it needs to educate the Belizean people on their position. We are educating the people on our position, and that is what needs to be respected.
So in tonight's meeting, you didn't have the presence of all members of BNTU. So would you say that you still have the 100% support from all BNTU members?
BNTU has a constitution that it works. Our Council of Management agreed for us to host this forum, and we agreed how we'd have representation, and we had representation from all 6 districts of Belize.
And the amendments of Friday gets passed. What happens then? What happens then?
What do you want us to do? What can you do? The question should not be what can I do? The question should be what we Belizeans are prepared to do when these types of laws are being introduced into our country, despite we are supposed to be living in a democracy. Thank you.